Eric Adjepong.
Hi.
Hi,
How's it
Top
going?
Chef finalist.
Yeah, pretty big deal, right?
Yeah, it's a huge deal.
I mean, it really
Not
is.
too
It's
bad.
sort of like, it's a life-shifting deal.
I would say so, yeah. There's definitely a before and after kind of phase after Top Chef happens. So it's hard to say where everything is kind of leading because I'm still like the elevator is still kind of clicking up. But yeah, I'm just so very fortunate to make it this far and kind of just see what happens from here. So yeah.
So you went on the show saying that you wanted to showcase what West African cuisine was all about.
For sure.
What's it all about?
Spice, flavor, heat. There's a lot of nuances. You know, there's a lot of combinations of things that folks are not necessarily familiar with, as far as like, you know, taking grounded spices like cinnamon, clove, nutmeg, and then pairing it with, you know, habaneros and tomato and things like that. I think there's complexities that a lot of like Western palates and just folks who are just not familiar with the food can really explore and have fun with.
And one of the things that Tom Colicchio said to you during the season was, all your life you've been told that maybe this is not the kind of food to cook.
Right.
And now you're getting to cook it. And really, I mean, it's been a showcase. Like, I learned a lot about West African cuisine from the season.
Yeah, you know, I grew up eating this food and for so long, it's so nuts. You think about Africa being the second biggest continent in the world, you know, and yet the food is so underrepresented. I went to school and didn't really learn too much about African food. Some of the chefs that I work with weren't so, you know, familiar with the ingredients and products from Africa. So it's essentially up to me to kind of bring that out. And really showcase and put that forward.
I would say it needs acid, but I don't know the flavors of your food.
Totally get it. I'm gonna do this really traditional West African rice dish called wache.
One of the judges, I don't remember who it was, said, I don't even have a frame of reference for this dish.
For sure.
And so often, you know, when you're making fried chicken, people have a frame of people very often in this country have a frame of reference.
A loose
for
one,
that.
a general one, yeah, you have something.
Yeah,
for sure.
or a waffle. People in this country very often have a frame of who are born in this country
Right.
have a frame of reference for that. But something like fufu, as you were saying, fufu is as common as rice,
It is,
right?
yes. Yeah. Cooking that type of food and really putting myself out there during the competition was a risk, you know, and in order to break that through that ceiling, you have to kind of present it. It has to be done. For me to, you know, cook the food, for the judges to kind of understand where the food is coming from or have some sort of frame of reference to it, and then, you know, be judged accordingly. So, yeah, there's so many different ways that it could have happened and, you know, the chips could have fell, but I'm definitely, third place is not too shabby, so, yeah.
Here's what we need to talk about. I mean, this is where the dish comes in.
Okay.
Because being on a cooking competition show is hard.
It is.
It's really hard, and you're in this moment right now that is a very vulnerable space.
It is, yeah. I mean, you know the deal. So like, it's tough because you have cameras in front of you, and you have the pressure of the actual competition, and then, you know, your mind is racing a mile a minute, and you know you're going to be judged in front of some of like the most legit palates in the world. So it's like a no pressure type situation, but it's kind of nerve wracking, right? So with the added kind of pressure of cooking food that's just so unfamiliar. You know, I definitely could have came in with a modern American approach or, you know, classical French approach. But it was kind of a mission that was sort of bigger than me. You know what I mean? Again, no one's ever heard of fufu on Top Chef.
I'm doing a West African dumpling called fufu.
I love fufu.
No one's ever heard of wache or, you know, shita or any of these things that when I grew up eating, these are like secondhand. These are like things that I grew up like.
Right,
Yeah,
and when they were like,
yeah.
"Oh, you made fufu twice," and it's like telling somebody you made rice twice.
Right,
like it's so common.
It's so
like,
common,
yeah.
or it's even like a pasta dish. You know, there's people.
Right, you made pasta twice.
You
Like, of
made
course,
pasta,
in a different shape.
In a different shape,
Yes,
right? It's the
of
same
course.
deal. It really is. So, again, some of those kind of glass ceilings that you have to break and really have to kind of reinforce in people's minds. Like you can present certain things in different ways, and you can call it different things.
I look forward to seeing what's going to happen. You absolutely never know. I'm here at the Washington Post. Who the hell knew?
I'm
you
here
know?
at the Washington Post. Like that's pretty That's pretty crazy, right?
That's
yeah,
great.
right. You're right. You're
Who
absolutely
knew?
right. Yeah, right. It's not a big deal, right?